Welcome back to New Rockstars. This is the big question, the show that gives you too much information on who the toughest, meanest, most nefarious mobster is in the Big Apple. And no, we do not mean the creepy Times Square Elmo, but he is definitely certainly up there.
Don't let your kids near that thing. It's freaky.
Oh no, it just feels very creepy. Probably has lots of sicknesses. I don't know. Sorry, I shouldn't talk about shit about a person. Cut that out. My name is MT, and I'm here today, of course, with my brother, off-screen producer, Brandon. What's going on, Brandon?
Hello, MT. So happy to be here today. Great to be back on Big Question with you, and I'm very excited for what we're going to talk about. New series, baby. New series.
New series, Hawkeye. Hey. Haley Steinfeld season's in, baby. It's in. It's the reason for the season. It's why everyone gives each other gifts around this time of year.
Oh, is that why? It's that why?
Yeah.
It's not because our Lord Jesus Christ was born? Come on, MT. Come on. You better watch your mouth.
They're going to leak
MT's going to get canceled.
Anyway, hit me with that big question, Brandon.
Okay, MT. So as you're saying, we got a new show on Disney Plus, Hawkeye. It's finally out. We got the first 2 episodes. What a Thanksgiving miracle it was to get 2 fresh episodes right next to my stuffing and my mashed potatoes and gravy. Delicious. But what I really like about this show is that, you know, it's focusing on just kind of a little incident in New York City. It's not a world-ending event. We don't got giant space gods being born out of the earth. We don't got holes opening up in timelines. You know, this is just like little...
It's kind of world-ending for some people, like Clint's family. I mean,
yeah, okay.
Christmas.
Well, if one family's got to get their Christmas ruined, I think that's okay. Okay,
then so be it.
So be it. If one family gets a bad Christmas, I'm so sorry. So we have this new threats in New York City. It's a little some crime syndicates, some mobs going on.
The secret ingredient is crime.
That all leads us to this week's big question, MT. When it comes to organized crime in New York City, who's the boss? Who's the big boss?
Who's the boss? Who's the boss? Yeah, it's time to make like Tony Danza and figure out just who is the boss. Because Marvel Comics are full of nefarious gangs and crime syndicates working their way through the grimy streets of New York City. And with the new Hawkeye series in full swing, we're finally going to get a look at some of these groups now being officially inside of the MCU, which is really great. So we see you, Netflix series. We'll get to that. But let's start off with the first group that we've officially been introduced to in this series. And bro, I know you know what I'm talking about, bro. It's going to be the Tracksuit Mafia, bro.
Come on, bro.
My favorite gang, the number one gang in Marvel Comics. I'm glad that they're here. They rival Hydra, in my opinion.
They're dealing with some difficult issues. I appreciate the honesty of the Tracksuit Mafia.
Right?
You know, it's tough to find a good warehouse these days. They're all getting bought up. Gentrification is ruining everything.
It's true. And as a kid who went to Christian private school from grade 5 to 12, uniforms are really great at uniting a group of people.
I love it.
Just killing all creativity and individuality just completely is great for that.
I mean, it's great. Anyway. You know, a lot of times these gangs in comics, they go a little overboard. You know, with the Joker, all of his men always have to have like face paint on and stuff. No, just get like a nice outfit that you can all buy. You can get it in your size. It's great. It's comfortable. It's functional. It's got pockets. I mean, what a great uniform.
I mean, like Shades was wearing his shades all the time, and Luke Cage was like, "Bro, we're indoors. What are you doing?"
Yeah, that's not smart.
The Tracksuit Mafia, also known as the Tracksuit Draculas in the Matt Fraction Hawkeye comics, this series is taking inspiration from, are a group of enforcers with vaguely Eastern European origins. And it's clear to see that these guys are pretty low level since they're the only ones getting their hands dirty. And it's really interesting to note that in the secret auction scene in the first episode, the auctioneer says,
"Now you may recall, the Ronin decimated the criminal underworld of this city, almost completely annihilating the status and power of the head of organized crime."
And so that puts this series in a really interesting situation where older embedded NYC crime groups may have been completely wiped out, leading to a power vacuum. And the Tracksuit Mafia might be the only low-level gang in town at the moment, or at least the most, competent low-level one.
I may be an idiot, but I'm not stupid.
And we should also point out that when Clint is talking to Laura about these guys, he says,
"At least until I clear things up with the old tracksuit friends."
Jesus, not those idiots.
Yeah, those idiots. Not sure how high it goes up, so.
And like we said, they're clearly not at the very top of the food chain, and there's plenty of room to go up from them. And in fact, we already saw one person that they're working for, and that is Miss Echo, and they seem kind of afraid of her. They're like, sorry to interrupt this super loud stuff that you're listening to. I don't know how your powers work, bro, but yeah, we got a guy. We got him.
Yeah, I mean, I guess she does have to feel it, huh? Yeah, I do. I really like the Tracksuit Mafia, the Tracksuit Draculas. I guess we're calling them the Tracksuit Mafia in this one. You'll love to see the unity they have. You'll love to see how they all work together. They support each other. You know, it is fun, but they're clearly not the head of whatever's going on in New York. You know, these guys are just enforcers, right? They got to do the dirty work. But that point you bring up about Ronan is very interesting because, you know, we had this situation where Ronan's running around for 5 years, wiping out organized crime that I'm sure was definitely rising up during the blip or during the snap. So it is cool to think that like he might have like kind of cleaned the slate in New York City, right? He wiped out a lot of the bad gangs. And now someone is moving in to take over or took over in the absence of all other gangs.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see what's going on with those Mafia guys. And I have this weird feeling that the Tracksuit Mafia could be Sokovian. And bro, I know you know what I'm talking about, bro. It's going to be the Tracksuit Mafia, bro. Like,
that would be
we don't really know where they are in the comics.
Yeah.
Like it's always vague in the comics. So like with this more emphasis being given on Sokovia in both WandaVision and in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it just seems that Sokovia has more of a role to play in the MCU. So it makes sense to make the tracksuit Sokovian linked.
I mean, I imagine at least one or two of them are from Sokovia, right? They could be all over. They could be from all over Eastern Europe. You know, you come to New York, you know, you try and get a job at Baskin Robbins. It's impossible because they're always looking at your criminal history. So you got to join.
They always find out.
They always find out. They always find out. So you got to join the Tracksuit Mafia because, you know, they welcome all people, all shapes and sizes, as long as you fit into a tracksuit. I do also appreciate that Clint's very upfront with Laura about what he's doing, and she knows what's been going on. He's not keeping things from her. She's always in the know, you know. I like when he says he's gonna pull a what did he say? Get caught?
I think he said get help. He's gonna do a get help.
Get help.
Get help! Please! My brother's dying! Get help! Help him!
Hey Laura, I need your help. We need to get help. I need you here.
But yeah, he's doing a little catch and release, and she's like, "That's Natasha's old move. R.I.P. Natasha. We'll never forget you." But yeah, I do like the relationship they have. I love that he's honest. He's like, "Listen, I got to deal with this problem. You know, since I was Ronin and I killed a bunch of bad guys, and now there's a power vacuum. I'm gonna fix this problem."
Whoops. Oops. Hey man, that's a ride or die wife. He's like, "Hey, I can tell you about that time I killed a bunch of people." And you're just like, "It's fine. You were going through stuff. I was dead. It's totally fine, Clint."
It's totally fine. You know, I was, you know, you got to do what you got to do. I'm not going to give you a hard time about it.
The last thing I'll say about the Tracksuit Mafia is like, in terms of their link to possibly Sokovia, is that they do have the purple mask, right? Like Zemo.
He did kind of have like, yeah. It was hard to tell the exact color, but
I got sort of Zemo vibes from that. I'm like, I mean, obviously, Zemo doesn't have the freaking monopoly on purple masks. Anyone can wear a purple ski mask. But I'm just saying, like, that'd be an interesting link. Like, we all are linked with Zemo a little bit. Yeah. Who knows? That'd be fun.
Maybe they just really like him. They want to support him.
Right? It's like, we just think he's really cool. You know, he took down the Avengers.
Cool guy. Bruh, he's a cool guy.
But yes, Maya Lopez, aka Echo, is a Native American with the ability of photographic reflexes. This means that she is capable of perfectly reproducing the physical movements and actions of anyone that she observes. And she also happens to be deaf. And we first see her at the end of episode 2, but it's clear that she's going to be a really big presence in this series. And it appears that she is going to be the one giving orders to the Tracksuit Mafia, so it's clear that she is above them on the NYC crime food chain. But is she the main boss? Probably not. One interesting thing to note from the comics, at one point, Echo dons the Ronin suit and takes on the persona. And we saw what a big role that infamous ninja suit has played in the series so far. So, could we see Echo become Ronin by the end of this series? I think there's a possibility there.
That would be really interesting. I mean, I was kind of fascinated how like important the ninja suit was. The fact that they kept calling it a ninja suit kept cracking me up.
I loved seeing Grills wearing it. Oh my, it just, I was like, bro, this is how you die, Grills. Why know, Grills? Why do you have to be named Grills? Sorry, continue.
That was great. But yeah, they're really like putting a lot of emphasis on like the importance of this suit. It's like the physical representation of Clint's shame and everything. Yeah, it would be really cool if she became like the new Ronin, and Ronin kind of sticks around for a little bit. I mean, she could just be Echo. Echo's a good enough name. She doesn't need to take another name.
I think anyone wearing that suit would just be badass. So there should just always be a Ronin around. Like there's always a Captain America. There should always just be a Ronin.
Always just be a Ronin.
Fighting crime. Like
well, and without like the real Taskmaster, because I don't know, post the events of Black Widow, if Taskmaster can still do the Taskmaster thing without the chip or the gas. I don't know. But she Echo's the real deal. She's got the ability. So.
And like I mentioned this to Erik during our Inside Marvel. I think the way that she was introduced might have been purposeful because she was in a red room. They introduced her in a red room. So like, what if she's linked to the red room and she underwent the same types of experiments that the Taskmaster went through? I think that could be Marvel's way of just being like, all right, here's more photographic reflex people. And in the comics, Maya's dad is killed by Wilson Fisk, who we all know as KINGPIN, and she winds up working for Fisk as he's obviously very impressed with her skills. I would want her to work for me.
Yeah, right. Saying. Hey, sorry I killed your dad. Please come work for me. You're really cool.
My bad. Oopsies. I can make it up to you with money and gainful employment.
Sorry.
Could this mean that we're going to see some KINGPIN in this series, Brandon? Could it be?
Could it be true? Please let it be true.
Fingers crossed. Vincent D'Onofrio would not mind, I don't think. Even though the series is already done. You can just sneak it in post.
Yeah.
Who cares?
He'll show up. He'll put him on a green screen.
Literally just put him in there. Have Vincent on his camera phone just be like, it's me, KINGPIN.
And me. Don't forget about me.
As the post-credit scene. It's like, and me, I'm here. Goodbye. In episode 1, when Kate is listening in on Eleanor's conversation with Armand, she hears Armand say, "Don't you try that on me. I gave you an opportunity. I have powerful friends too." And sure, Armand could be talking about Echo, but a rich and influential guy like Armand probably has even more powerful friends. So yes, let's talk about the elephant-sized man in the room, Mr. KINGPIN himself, because it's a huge possibility. KINGPIN is, in fact, the undisputed boss of crime in New York City. I don't know if you've ever seen a Spider-Man. I don't know if you ever played Spider-Man PS4. I don't know if you've ever just seen KINGPIN in the Spider-Man animated series from the 90s. That man is in charge, period. And he was originally introduced in the comics as a foil to Spider-Man. As you can see, clearly, the opposite of spider is wide. Many spiders are killed by wide shoes, objects. So, it's a very smart choice.
A spider's greatest fear, wide.
But of course, he quickly crossed over to mess with any hero that dare step a toe into his business in NYC. How dare you?
Yeah. How dare you? How dare you? The invisible hand is actually just KINGPIN with his huge, giant, strong hand.
And or possibly the hand, the organization. But we don't talk about them or else they'll kill us all. Now, we have seen KINGPIN represented in an MCU-adjacent property, and this, of course, being Michael Clarke Duncan's portrayal in the 2003 film Daredevil starring Ben Affleck. The best Daredevil adaptation there is. Netflix.
Full stop.
This is number one.
You can hate on the 2003 Daredevil, and that's fine. You're certainly allowed to do that. But MCD, he held it down in that one.
He really did. MCD, ups. Michael Clarke Duncan's KINGPIN was fantastic.
Everything else about that movie is pretty tough. KINGPIN rules in that movie.
While iconic, it's probably not the one that you're thinking of. But more recently, KINGPIN was played by, of course, Vincent D'Onofrio from the much-loved Daredevil series on Netflix. And rumors are swirling about that same KINGPIN may be making his way over to the MCU officially. And maybe even Charlie Cox's Daredevil as well. Maybe. Please, Kevin, please. Let it happen, Kevin.
Please, Kevin Feige, one above all.
I know I ask you for a lot.
Bring us Charlie Cox's
all I'm
Daredevil.
Asking you, exactly. We need Vincent D'Onofrio. I would also take Haley Steinfeld as KINGPIN.
Okay, here we go again. But
I'm just saying she would look good in a white suit. She would look good in a white suit.
Vinny D. We got to see Vinny D come back. Bring him back.
Vinny D was amazing as KINGPIN, and I literally cannot think of anyone else that is KINGPIN. He's literally KINGPIN now.
I know. The people would go crazy if they put anyone else in that role. I would not want to be the actor that has to take that role right now.
He sort of has that Wolverine factor. It's whoever's going to take over for Hugh Jackman is going to have a really bad couple months.
Yeah, but they at least sunsetted that character. I mean, poor poor Vinny D, they just put him in jail and you're like, come on, he's still right there. Just bring him out, bring him out.
It really does seem that Kingpin would be the perfect ultimate baddie to be revealed as the boss of the New York City crime world. But the inclusion of Echo in this series and the fact that it was announced on Disney Plus Day that there will be an Echo spin-off series means that Kingpin's appearance in the MCU is pretty much a foregone conclusion. But there are some other crime bosses out there that we should consider, including one that we just met very recently. The power broker Sharon Carter killed Batroc just in cold blood. Can't even believe it. Just because Steve Rogers broke your heart, don't do crime.
Don't do crime.
I want a list of all Steve Rogers' ex-girlfriends or the peoples that he's had a romantic things with and see how many of them have become super villains.
Stupid boy think that I need him.
But then again, Chris Evans is very handsome, so I would probably act up too if he broke up with me.
I don't blame you.
Sharon Carter, aka the Power Broker, could be revealed to be the ultimate boss of the Hawkeye series. And we know that this show is taking place after the events of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so our girl, Sharon Carter, is back on American soil at this point. So that means that the Power Broker is here too. Not that the Power Broker couldn't have run her business remotely, but it's probably easier to have secretive and secure meetings face to face rather than, over Zoom.
It does seem like they're setting up Kingpin to be the big boss here, but that's a good point, MT. The Power Broker's back in the US. She's here. Mm-hmm. She could be doing things. She's got government contracts now. So it would make sense for Marvel to have set this up by having introducing Sharon Carter as the Power Broker in one of their more recent series. And then now you have obviously someone's in charge here. It could be the Power Broker. It would be interesting and it would be a cool thing for her to get involved in, but I don't know. It seems maybe not. It seems like they're saving her for Armor Wars or something like that, or Secret Invasion.
Having the Power Broker on U.S. soil is a huge game changer for a lot of things because, she is going to be moving around a lot of product, a lot of secret weapons and a lot of, like you mentioned, Armor Wars is probably going to center a lot around whatever Sharon Carter is doing because there's no greater weapon than an Iron Man suit of armor on this planet right now.
And we still don't know what this mysterious watch is that whoever organized the break-in at the auction wanted. So, it could be a weapon that she wants. Who knows?
And, of course, we should also consider the 10 Rings because the post-credit scene from Shang-Chi showed us that Xia Ling, Shang-Chi's sister, has taken over the long-running criminal organization hiding in the shadows from her father, Wen Wu, who treated her like shit. So good for her. And she's making some changes. And if the series is taking place post Shang-Chi, it could be that the 10 Rings are at the top of the food chain in New York City. And even if they're not taking a visible lead out in the front, they could still be the ones pulling the strings in the shadows. And we have to assume that the 10 Rings has some sort of presence in NYC already, because it's a major hub in the United States for most businesses, especially in the financial center. Even if the 10 Rings have no presence in this series, they're probably there in the shadows anyway, moving mysteriously. And in episode 2, when Kate has her fencing showdown with Jack, he says to Eleanor, "It's not the first time someone has tried to take my head off."
I mean, what a flex. What a flex,
right?
When,
I love him.
You're engaged to a new woman and she's got a kid already and it's fine. And the kids, they're not home. It's not like you got to be there to be a stepdad. They're off at college already. And then they show up at dinner and they try and fight you. And then you be like, "Oh, you're so good." I was on and then whooping. Oh man, that's badass. That's badass, girl. Better watch out.
It's I was like, wow, sword championships. Oh, that's so funny. I do this all day.
Oh, champion of your high school, huh?
I'm the actual swordsman.
My name's Swordsman. Heard of it? Come on.
Given what an accomplished swordsman the swordsman is, anyone that would want to even try to take his head off would have to be a skilled fighter. And we know that the 10 Rings has plenty of those skilled fighters. Or could the threat have come from another crime group like, I don't know, The Hand? Because we've already discussed the potential for Kingpin to be making the leap from the distant Netflix Marvel universe to the main MCU, because The Hand, of course, are a group of ninjas operating around the world in the shadows, much like the 10 Rings do. And in the comics, they've been around since the 1500s and have infiltrated cities around the world. And they even had a hand in the creation of Hydra, which is a pretty shitty hand to have
not a good thing. Hand. Not something you want to list of your accomplishments. I mean, depending on who you're trying to impress, but done a lot of damage. It's true.
A lot of damage. That's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage. That was a lot of fun.
But yes, the Hand played a prominent role in the Daredevil Netflix series, but have not popped up in the MCU, yet. But it might be just a little bit complicated to have them show up now, especially, as they establish the Ten Rings as a very similar type of organization. But they could be easily brought over from the Netflix series. And the MCU could potentially establish that Ronan took them out as part of his, gang-killing crusade during those post-snap 5 years. And given the long history of the Hand, it's unlikely that they were wiped out completely because, like we said, the Hand kind of Hydra vibes. When you take out a little bit of the Hand, just another finger grows back. That's how the Hand works, like Hydra.
Yeah. It's hard to wipe out completely those demon worshipping cults that have been around for hundreds of years. It's difficult to do. You can't get them all in one fell swoop. You got to hunt them all down. Like you kind of said, MT, it's like the Hand, the Ten Rings. They're kind of very similar right now in the MCU. It's like these like kind of secret shadowy organizations. But Marvel Comics has always been like that, right? There's always like new secret gangs that pop up that have been around for hundreds of years that no one mentioned until this one comic book. It's just kind of a thing you have to do. You always have to make up new bad guys and stuff. But it would be cool, to see them come over. If they're bringing over Kingpin and Daredevil from the Netflix series, does that mean everything comes over? I don't know. But the Hand, showing up now would be interesting. But I think it is too soon after kind of establishing the 10 Rings as like a similar organization, right?
Well, I think a really fun way that you could do it, because I do like this connection, is that, 10 rings go on hands. So like, it'd be great if the 10 rings and the hands work together, because rings and hands were always meant to go together. So I think it'd be a really fun connection for them to do that in the show.
I do like that. Well, and it makes sense that they would, if both of these groups have been operating in the shadows for hundreds of years, they probably met at some point, at a bad guy convention or something. And they're like, hey, let's exchange information.
Con.
Yeah. Crime Con. We'll exchange information. Let's talk. Like, hey, what should we, what about the Black Plague? Should we play a role in that? No, yes, no, I don't know. But yeah, they've probably worked together over the years, but it would be cool to see them. I love this idea of the rings on the hand. That's beautiful stuff. It's
really
beautiful
fun.
Stuff.
Thank you. That's what I do.
But yeah, if they have the hand, they might as well bring over the foot. You know what I'm talking about? Ninja Turtles, baby. Let's go.
If Marvel and Disney are on this crusade to buy things, go ahead and buy the Ninja Turtles at this point, because I would love to see the foot in the MCU.
I mean, that would be crazy at the season finale of Hawkeye if it's revealed that Shredder is in charge of everything in New York City.
I would poop my pants, Brandon. I would literally poop a turtle size.
Brains would explode.
Bro, I would scream. I would literally. I wouldn't even have to know how it was even logistically possible. Because
they don't have to explain it. They don't have to make it work. Just do it.
Yep. Yeah, but there's actually one more potential top boss that we should consider here. And this one goes all the way back to Ant-Man and the Wasp. And that is the mysterious buyer that Sonny Birch was working for, buying up all that powerful tech. Because we don't know, to this day, who this person is. They refuse to answer my emails. They refuse to just... It's like playing Who's That Pokemon, but never getting the answer. It's just really annoying.
Who's that powerful buyer of illegal technology? It's Squirtle.
But that mysterious buyer could be the one at the very top of the NYC crime scene. And maybe it's someone that we've already mentioned, or it could be a new character entirely.
Yeah, the MCU is kind of introduced this, and I feel like they purposely were very we'll resolve this at some point. It's almost like sitting in a little glass box on the wall, and they can break the glass when they need a new bad guy or something. And when they eventually do reveal it, I mean, it'll be great and everyone will lose their mind.
You ever heard the name Wilson Fisk?
Especially if we see Sonny Birch again. Love Walton Goggins. Would love to see him come back to the MCU.
Wally Goggs.
But yeah, it could be, the mysterious buyer could just be the power broker. It could be Kingpin, or they could just make it a whole new bad guy. But I like the connection here because, yeah, again, they're stealing this like mysterious watch. It could be a piece of powerful technology and it could be this buyer. So yeah, I would love to see that come back and get that paid off finally.
I honestly, I feel like Sonny Birch's buyer could be related to Roxxon in some way.
Oh, that would also be very fun. Yeah.
Yeah, you know that Roxxcart was in, Loki, and Roxxon is this huge energy corporation, and quantum energy is this huge thing. So I just feel like Roxxon might even be working with some of these criminal underworld people to get.
Could it be Justin Hammer pulling the strings from the shadows?
Hey, who knows? It's been a while. Maybe he's out of prison. He only tried to blow up Stark Expo. I'll give you like 10 years.
Yeah. And then the world almost ended like twice, and now
right?
Tiamat's come out of the ground. I'm sure they're releasing a few prisoners for good behavior.
Hey, I've been turned into a cow. Can I go home?
You're excused.
The existential crisis every person on Earth should be having every day.
Right?
Based on the events
really
of the last like 5 years is just insane.
I'd be done.
When Erisham showed up in the sky to those people in that park in London, I can just imagine like going home to your wife and being like, I can't do it anymore. I just can't live anymore.
Bro, it's my number one fear, seeing a big face in the sky. Everyone knows this, man. I would literally
you gotta go to work the next day. You gotta like answer emails, and you're just like, "There's giant space gods. Why am I dealing with my Outlook calendar?"
Nothing would matter. I wouldn't give a shit about anything. I'd be like, "Yo, care. If I had a shitty boss, which I don't. If I worked in an office and I had a shitty boss,
good cover, like, yo, MT. I would good just cover.
Phew, still got a job tomorrow. Woo! I would literally cuss out my boss and then leave. I'd just be like, F this. Like, space gods just threatened my life. I'm leaving. That is a brief list of who could be the big boss of New York City crime. But who do you think it could be behind it all, Brandon? Who do you think is actually behind it all?
I want it to be Kingpin. Deep down in my heart of hearts, I really want it to be revealed to be Kingpin here. But I'll go out on a limb. I think it could be the power broker. They've kind of done this little setup. They brought her back to America. I love this idea that she could be revealed to be the big boss at the end. I don't think everyone would love that.
You got that right.
But it could be fun. It could be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, because like in Falcon the Winter Soldier, the power broker was always this mysterious force. And we never really got a whole look of like how she actually moves and
right.
Like, what she actually does beyond, killing people that betray her. I think I'll have to steal yours too, because it does make sense for her to play a role here.
But I mean, we would love it to be Vinny D, baby. Come on. You can do
Vincent
it.
D'Onofrio, let's go.
You can do it. You can do it, Feige. Whoa.
You can do it.
You don't have to explain everything about Netflix and how it works. You don't have to explain it. Just bring it back.
Yo, even if the power broker was working with Kingpin, which would make a lot of sense.
I would love that too.
Let's make it happen. Both of them together.
Book it. Ship it. Let's go. Here we go.
I ship it together. Vanessa. We don't need Vanessa. Sharon.
Vanessa. Oh, hello. Hello, Sharon. Hello. Nice to meet you.
Sharon. Oh.
Do you like plain white paintings? It's my only... The only thing I need you to do is like plain white paintings. That's it.
She's like, I love plain white men. So I guess plain white paintings. I'm sorry, Steve.
No, it's true. Nice. Steve is as milquetoast as they come.
But before we continue, there is a new Latest Obsession shirt over at newrockstarsmerch.com inspired by Hawkeye. And it's a really cool design and there's a limited supply. So grab one really quick before you'll need, an exploding arrow to get your hands on one. And they recently had the vault open for their Black Friday event. And maybe that vault is even still open.
Could it be? Could it still be open? Is it possible?
We'll find out. Who knows? You never know where we're going to shut the vault for good. But either way, find that shirt and tons of other great merch options inspired by Loki, Spider-Man, and other cool, nerdy-ass properties over at newrockstarsmerch.com. It's the best one-stop shop for all your nerd needs, like this shirt. I love this shirt so much. And before we dive into our bite-sized questions next, some words from the people that help us bring big question to you. People like Notion. With so much work being done remotely, including here at New Rockstars, it's never been more important to make your team work fast and stay aligned. And you need one hub where everyone can share work, manage projects, and collaborate with clarity. Notion provides one central and customizable workspace that can be tailored to fit any team and bring all teams together to get more done and move faster. And Notion is an all-in-one team collaboration tool that combines note-taking, document sharing, wikis, project management, and much, much more into one space that's simple, powerful, and beautifully designed. And plus, Notion has a worldwide network of millions of users creating templates, tutorials, and new inspiration. And the product is getting better all the time, and you'll always have the support that you need. So find out how Notion may be the missing piece that your team needs to grow and get more done. Learn more and get started for free at notion.so. And you can check it out on your own and invite as many folks as you want to see how it works and take the first step towards getting an organized, happy team today, again, at notion.so.
If you dread looking at your credit card statements, you're not alone. The weight of debt can be like a celestial standing on your back, and boy, are they big and certainly heavy. Upstart can help lift that weight and get you on your path to financial freedom. Upstart is the fast and easy way to pay off your debt with a personal loan all online. Pay off credit cards, consolidate high interest debt, or fund personal expenses with Upstart. Over 1 million people have used Upstart to get one fixed monthly payment with a clear payoff date. Upstart considers factors other than credit score, like your income, current employment, and credit history to find you a smarter rate for your loan. You can check your rate without impacting your credit score for loans between $1,000 to $50,000. Receive funds as fast as 1 business day after accepting your loan. Find out how Upstart can lower your monthly payments today when you go to upstart.com/bigquestion. That's upstart.com/bigquestion. Don't forget to use our URL to let them know we sent you. Loan amounts will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other information provided in your loan application. Upstart.com/bigquestion.
While you're shopping for holiday gifts, you don't want to forget about folks purposely on your naughty list. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about that bedroom naughty. But that's where our friends at Adam and Eve can help. And they've got all the naughty gifts that you and your partner are going to love. They have 24/7 customer service and 90-day no-hassle returns. And they ship in discreet packaging that no one is going to be silently judging at your doorstep. And Adam and Eve is celebrating their 50th anniversary this year, and 20% of their profit goes to fight the spread of HIV around the world. We've all heard about supply chain issues and delivery issues every day on the news, so don't wait on your Adam and Eve order. Shop now and shop early, and hurry while supplies last. And go to adamandeve.com and use code QUESTION to get 50% off one item plus free shipping in the US and Canada. And some exclusions do apply. Again, that is adamandeve.com and use the code QUESTION to get 50% off one item plus free shipping in the US and Canada. Adam and Eve, it's time to get it on! Now it is time for our bite-sized questions, Brandon. Are you ready? Nom, 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 nom.
I'm ready for these tasty bite-sized questions.
Almost like a, what do you call those things?
An amuse-bouche?
Oh, okay, fancy.
Those things that they make on the microwave, the children.
For the children.
An hors d'oeuvre?
No, the
A Tostino's pizza roll?
Yeah, the pizza rolls. There we go, the Tostinos.
I prefer the bagel bite. Pizza on a bagel.
Pizza on a bagel.
Well, Brandon, how does Captain America's shield stick to his back? And this is from King Variant on Twitter. I know you, King Variant. Thank you for being an amazing supporter of the channel.
Well, King Variant. This is a very popular question regarding Cap's sometimes magical acting shield right after, the question, how the hell does this thing just bounce right back to him? It's science. I can't explain it.
It's science.
Spider-Man said it best. That thing does not obey the laws of physics at all. No, it doesn't.
It don't.
But how does that iconic shield just like so cleanly and securely just stick to Steve's back or whoever's wearing it? Just pops right on there, right? We've seen multiple characters from Steve Rogers and most recently Sam Wilson all wear the shield on their back with ease. But how are they doing it? The simplest answer is probably magnets. Dude, magnets, how do they work? No one knows.
And I don't want to talk to a scientist.
In the Age of Ultron, we saw how Cap used magnets to make the shield stick to his forearm, though he appears to only ever use that forearm magnet thing in Age of Ultron. Like, it never really came back. Like, every other time we see inside the shield, he's like using the straps, in Endgame, that iconic like strap tightening right before he takes on the Mad Titan. It wouldn't be effective cinematically if it was just like magnets. Like, we want to see that. He's just strapping it in. He's ready to go to battle. So it feels like, Cap tried out the magnets for that one fight and was like, Tony, I appreciate this. This is really nice, but it's not my vibe.
Too much technology, man. I can't deal with this.
Technology.
I like my belt straps from the
I like to feel the leather on my skin. Yeah. That doesn't mean he's not using a magnet to hold the shield on his back. But given like the kind of concave nature of the shield, right? If the magnet's like in that little centerpiece of his harness, it would have to be like a really strong magnet to hold the shield there without directly connecting to it, right? So we should also note that in the comics, vibranium is not magnetic. And I know we see Cap uses electromagnets to hold the shield on his arm. So it's possible that they added some like ferrous metal to the inside of the shield to make those magnet things work. But again, also vibranium in the MCU might be magnetic. I don't know. It's tough to say. They have never really said what its like properties are. But we have seen that magnets have worked with the shield in some capacity. Whether they're attracted to the vibranium or they're attracted to something added to the shield, they can work. So the other way that the shield could stick to the back is just kind of like a simple hook that like holds the arm strap or something. Like there could be like a little hook that pops out. We don't get too many looks at like Captain America's back with the shoulder harness without the shield. But, you know, there have been like pictures of the costume and stuff online, and it's like a small peg that was like kind of on the inside of the shield that, you know, some like cosplayers have done that. They've used like a little peg. If you're a dude who carries the shield around, you practice like sliding it on there, or like a little hook that pops out and catches the like leather straps. That could all work.
Hey, if there's anything that we know about Steve Rogers, that Steve Rogers loves him a good peg. I'll be here all week, everyone.
That was good. That was too good.
I did it.
That was great. And then Sam, you know, Wilson's like Captain America wingsuit, it was made by Wakandans. So it has all sorts of magical properties. Who knows? They knew the shield had to go back there. It could have like a little nanotech holder that pops out. You know, it could have some sort of like vibranium activated thing. I don't know. Like Sam's suit, the answer is magic. But for Bucky and Steve, I think it's just like a little physical hook that catches it. Yeah, it's too easy and it slides on and it looks great. It's a movie, folks. I don't know what you want, but there's something there holding it.
I actually talked to Kevin Feige the other day, and he said that there's actually a tiny Tinkerbell.
Nice boots, Tinkerbell.
Oh, a tiny little Tinkerbell, huh?
She's just holding it up with all the restraint. He's like, just like, come, hurry up and take it again.
And that's why everyone has to clap around Captain America so she doesn't die.
Exactly.
Sometimes you got to clap back at Captain America.
Bring back the girls!
Clap back. That's Civil War. All right, our second bite-sized question of the day is, Brendan, who is the most powerful mutant? And this is from Anna, the intern at our offices. Thank you, Anna. She's wonderful. If you guys don't know, Anna, just follow her on Twitter.
Yes, please.
She's wonderful person.
Wonderful person. And a great question. It really takes me back to my days on the playground in middle school, arguing amongst my friends who the most powerful mutant was. I was always on Team Magneto, especially when you got him juiced up on that kick. You know, that mutant drug. He gets all jacked on kick. He's ripping all the pipes out of the ground. He's taking over New York City. Hell yeah, Magneto. But who is the most powerful mutant, MT? You know, people always say like Professor X, Jean Grey, Apocalypse. I mean, he's pretty powerful. Ever heard of him? Took over Egypt. There's so many to choose from, but thankfully Marvel Comics has provided an answer on just who the most powerful mutant is, okay? From History of the Marvel Universe #3 back in 2019, we learned that Franklin Richards, the son of Reed Richards and Sue Storm, is the most powerful mutant. Full stop. Boom. There's your answer. And this factoid, if you don't believe it, take it up with the guy who said it, okay? It comes directly from the mouth of Galactus himself, okay?
Oh my God.
So
Galactus?
That's like gospel truth. Galactus knows a thing or two about power, okay? He tells Franklin that he's the most powerful mutant ever born, and that as Galactus is consuming worlds, so do you build. Franklin Richards is, of course, he's like extremely powerful because his parents, Reed and Sue, they got bombarded by that cosmic radiation. They're not mutants. Their DNA got altered by that cosmic power. So it resulted in Franklin's DNA being affected. And so he was born a mutant. And if you didn't know, Agatha Harkness was his nanny and protector when he was a little baby boy. Ever heard of her? She's pretty powerful too. Like there was this whole crazy story, I think, and this was like back in the 60s, I believe. Reed has to go to the negative zone to get this like powerful control rod because Sue's freaking out when she's pregnant. It was all this crazy stuff. The baby gets born, and
I need the controller on because my wife is just way too pregnant.
She's got cravings. I don't know. She's disappearing. Things are happening with her blood. I don't know. He gets born. He's a mutant, and like his powers manifested at like a super early age. Whereas like most mutants, you know, it doesn't happen until puberty.
Right.
Like Franklin, right out the gate, he's like a powerful mutant. What can he do that's so powerful? You might be asking. Well, I'm glad you asked. He has the power to like warp reality as he sees fit, and he even has the power to like create entire universes. He's basically like the Scarlet Witch, but he's like a little more in control of it right from the get-go. And even like Celestials have recognized that Franklin has a power that rivals their own. Celestials were like, this boy is powerful, okay? So yeah, no reason to have any more playground arguments. Franklin Richards, he's the boss. He reigns supreme. He's the most powerful mutant. Watch out for him because he's coming for you.
He's coming for you, yourself. You. We're talking about you.
He's coming for you.
I don't know what you did to have beef with Franklin Richards, but he's coming. This is 100% true because Franklin Richards is literally one of the most powerful characters that Marvel has ever made. Now it is time for my favorite part of the show. Brandon, it is time for the box of scraps. Box of scraps.
The box of scraps.
Box of scraps.
Box of scraps.
Alfred, get the box of scraps. Alfred, I need you, Alfred. I forgot the box of scraps at home. I forgot to put it in the Batmobile, Alfred.
What good is it doing all those push-ups if you can't even lift a box of scraps?
But Brandon, if you were the head of the most powerful small-time crime syndicate in New York City, what would your game be called and how would you make money?
Interesting. So we're talking like small petty crimes. We're the king of petty crimes.
Yeah.
What would okay. Here's what my gang do.
All right.
Here's what my gang is going to be doing, okay? We're called the Cereal Boys. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We go into grocery stores, maybe in the cover of night, maybe in broad daylight. Who knows? And we go to the cereal aisle and we cut open cereal boxes from the bottom and we take the toys out of the cereal boxes, all the surprises, all the little goodies.
God.
We're taking them right out of the Lucky Charms, out of the Kicks, out of the Tricks, out of the Fruity Pebbles. We're taking all the toys. And
no bigger trick than that.
We sell those toys on the black market, okay? We're the Cereal Boys. You better watch out. You better not mess with us, or you'll wind up with a toy in your throat, dead.
Oh my God!
Because we're small time. We're small time, but we, that's what we do.
I like to think that Sonny Birch is dealing with the Cereal Boys. Like, hey, where's our cereal toys? What's going on here, boy?
Well, we sell all those toys, and we use that money to buy illegal black market technology.
It's a perfect business model. Oh my God, that's a good one. I love it. I love it. You know what I would do? I would hire a bunch of. I would hire the children to go around, all the orphans of the city, and be like, hello, orphan children, here's what we're going to do. I'm only doing this because there's a DC villain called by the name of the Penny Plunderer.
Oh, okay.
And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have all these kids go around finding pennies and then bring me the pennies. And then we'll use the pennies to build up a crime empire and then use the pennies that we do find to throw them at people. And it will have a penny gang just based off the Penny Plunderer from DC Comics, and it'll only be orphans because they don't have parents, and I'll be their
These
penny
poor orphans.
Their penny parent.
I think this is the plot of Oliver Twist. I never read it, but I'm pretty sure it is.
I'll be the penny father MT, penny parent.
I mean, you should be the penny pinchers, right? You should be the penny pinchers.
Oh my God, perfect. See, now you're running marketing now. The penny pinchers.
Yeah. Nice.
But that is it for this episode of Big Question. I, of course, want to thank off-screen producer Brandon for joining me this episode. Please follow him at Barrick on Twitter. He's a wonderful man. You can follow me at MasterTainment on Twitter if you want to see me tweet some weird shit. And, of course, follow New Rockstars here on YouTube and on all other social media platforms. And, of course, make sure to hit that notification bell so you can get notifications every time we upload a video. And if you want to continue the conversation, our new Rockstars Discord server is now open to the public. And we've made some channels available to non-patrons so you can be part of the broader community of New Rockstars fans on Discord. If you're over 18 and interested, and please be sure to be over 18 in case you can't be under 18, search for the New Rockstars Discord server and join the conversation. Thank you guys again for watching, and we'll see you guys later. Goodbye.
Bye.